I'll be fair and admit that I went into this book with moderately low expectations. I was still let down. Hello fellow readers, I'm Lulu, but for the next few minutes, I'll be your friendly neighborhood snark reader because I've got to warn you about Bullets Don't Argue by William W. Johnstone. When I chanced upon this book, apparently number 3 in a series of westerns following the improbably named gunslinger Pearly Gates on his various standalone adventures, I figured, what the heck, let's give it a shot. After all, I've been going out of my way to borrow more westerns from my local little free libraries as I'm working on a novel adjacent to that genre, and I want to be familiar with the archetypes, tropes, and expectations associated with it. I was already a big fan of many classic western movies, you know, Tombstone, Unforgiven, etc. Anyway, it came as no surprise that I fell head over heels for some of the popular novels in the genre. True Grit, Lonesome Dove. A Yankee I may be, but there's just something so darn cool about the Old West vibe. The gunslingers, sunsets over the buttes, dust billowing behind a line of riders on a mission of righteous vengeance. I could go on, but you get the idea. While that era is overly romanticized in the same way pirates and ninjas and Vikings are, I remain hopelessly enchanted by it. But upon looking at the poorly photoshopped cover of this particular Pearly Gates adventure, I suspected I was not about to delve into a piece of literature in the same caliber as, say, Shane. I ought to have trusted my instincts. Let's start with the good before we move on to the bad and the ugly. It begins with your classic Western fare. Gunslinging, bank robbers, backstabbing, caches of buried money, a widow woman in need of help.
Ow! Have you ever seen such cruelty?
All that fun stuff I signed up for when I picked up the book. But damn, the writing. Oh sweet lord, the writing. It's drier than an Arizona desert and stiff as a hangman. He's also clearly never heard of the phrase, show, don't tell. And I know this is a controversial piece of advice amongst writers because some newbies will take it literally and never tell at all. But any of us with a little experience knows what the phrase means. Don't tell us a character is angry when you can instead show a visceral reaction that immerses us in the story, that makes us feel angry along with the character. A fire burning in their chest, a snarl twisting their lip, anything. Instead, Johnstone provides us with nothing but telling. Pearly was wary, Possum was confused, Emma was frightened. Between that and the lack of any real settings, I never reached that blissful state of immersion that we readers seek like a drug. I wasn't in the Old West. I didn't care about Pearly or Possum or Emma. They were just props on a papier-mâché set, one that had no smells of horse or gunpowder, no buttery taste of fried biscuits or burn of whiskey down a parched throat. Rather, the writing contained nothing that wouldn't appear on a movie screen, and even then, I'm being pretty generous. At one point, someone declares, "Possum sure is a colorful character." Is he? I honestly hadn't noticed. He's not particularly colorful, nor does he have any discernible character. I also can't really say what the plot of the whole novel was. My fellow writers have probably heard about the and then plots versus the therefore plots, and they've been heavily cautioned against the former. I take it that Johnston, whatever, probably missed that memo. The villains and the stakes kept changing at the drop of a hat, so I had no real story to cling to. It's possible some of these dropped plot points return later in the novel for some kind of payoff, but I didn't care enough about the stale, lifeless characters to find it. Long story short, I don't believe the adventures of Pearly Gates are going to help me in my quest to learn to write in the Western genre. I haven't given up, of course. Perhaps next I'll check out Blood Meridian or Riders of the Purple Sage. But in this reader's humble opinion, it's high time Johnstone put old Pearly out to pasture. Final score? 1 highly forgettable, easily defeated villain out of 10. But that's just this reader's opinion. If you disagree, drop a comment, tell me what I missed, like and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and I'll see you in the next video.